Hi everybody, my name is Sarah, Weight Watcher Cape Cod Woman, and Pearls of Wisdom and Food on Facebook. And today is a bathrobe chat. Because it's raining out, I don't have to be to work for quite a few hours, so I can put on my raincoat and go out for my walk later. Maybe it'll let up, maybe it won't, but I still like walking in the rain. As long as I can listen to my podcast, I'm happy. So, it is 7 minutes to 4 a.m. I have my frothy bulletproof coffee. I'm awaiting my bulletproof chocolate to be delivered, and that will be fun. So, I am still stirred by listening to the man that is the vegan that is into recovery from alcoholism. And I learned so much from what he said along with the Addiction Summit, which it just totally dovetails with the behavior of my food over the years. And it's only in talking to you on a daily basis that I begin to see, my patterns of, the food was this survivor thing, as if I ate enough, I would be safe in the world of the big bad wolf, And there was a lot of big bad wolves in my childhood and young adulthood. Some I chose, and some were called parents. But or uncles, funny uncles. Those funny uncles. But anyway, working with the women with food now, it's all very interesting. And there is, I hate it when people say this word, but an ignorance about food choices. And I'm working very hard with them for awareness. And I did this little exercise the other day in my nutrition class, and it was an octopus with 8 legs. And I work with a woman, I've been sponsoring a woman from Arizona for 15, 16 years, and she's brilliant, and she has a way of using words. And she was talking about her behaviors. And, of course, I would just make this being food choices and lopping off another arm of the octopus. And so I did this exercise. Of course, it didn't make sense to them. What's an octopus got to do with what we eat or our behavior? And I was just saying, well, there's 8 of them. And, which one would you like to work on and not have anymore? And so it's an interesting concept. And because they weren't too sure about their food choices, I said, well, you can always use behavior choices, right? Like saying the F-bomb too many times, in front of your children or something like that. Maybe you'd like to work on that. And, I know as I went along, my sacred cows have always been coffee. And my other sacred cow which has always been the start of the day. And the other sacred cow has always been this dish, and it could get smaller and smaller, but it always had to be this little dish of some sort of ice cream confection, something from the freezer type thing. And when I entered Weight Watchers, of course, it was Weight Watcher novelties a lot. And also the Skinny Cow ice cream sandwiches. And those were my little treats at the end of the day, like the coffee was at the beginning. And both of those were really the sacred cows, the don't even tamper with them. And I don't know if you had had or have sacred cows that you're not willing to look at yet. And so, I was looking at and thinking about my, my whitener to my coffee over the years. And it used to be Coffee Mate. I loved my sweet Italian cream Coffee Mate. And, at one point, we will go over the ingredients. And then I switched to, there's been so many changes. It's been the fat-free, there's been the full fat, there's been the half and half, there's been the light cream. So there's been a lot of changes over the years, and now I am settled on putting coconut milk into my 2 versions of my 2 bulletproof smoothies. I have 2 versions. And it's just interesting how we evolve. And I don't know if you've looked at your sacred cows and wanted to tweak them to a little bit more match where you're at today with food consciousness, and when we were in the ignorant stage of not knowing what we didn't know, I guess we thought that was kind of okay. We didn't have a hunger. Oh, love that word. A hunger to learn more about our choices. And so we're here today because that's what we want to do. And I just love when people have a day off and can do some roaming and some posting, either things that would make great posters or things that would make, you can read them, that lead to articles, that lead to more articles, that lead to some scientist or doctor, and then you want to follow that stream, and then at least this is how I do it. And then I look up on YouTube to see if they have podcasts, and it just gets more and more and more and more exciting. And the corporate lawyer, man in his alcoholism recovery, vegan, I went to his website and checked out all of his stuff. And it was certainly interesting, but much more into, power building, and you can do it. And some, heavy duty vegan things, although he interviews people from all strains of food plans, because it's just an interesting mix. And he says that the paleo, which would mean more meat eating, has a lot in common with the vegans. And I know that Abel James, another person I listened to who was interviewing him, isn't paleo, but is put in the paleo category, which is kind of funny. And he said he's often thought of as paleo, but he agrees that vegans, and then a woman I was listening to said, doesn't matter if you're paleo or you're vegan or vegetarian, as long as you've given up the processed foods and the sugars. And she was so right, he was so right, he was so right. The point is that if you've chosen to be under some title, and I don't want to be, and a lot of you don't want to be either, and I'm more like Abel James because I'm paleo with lots of veggies and dairy. And, a vegan is no dairy, no meat, and I don't think I'd want to do that. Of course, I have to say yet, everything that I've changed in my life since April. So the point is to work on the foods that aren't foods, right? Which are a lot of the middle aisles these days. Although, I get my olive oil from other places, but the middle aisles really don't offer a lot. And I find myself really grazing, as it were, in the produce sections, the dairy sections, and the meat sections, looking for that grass-fed something. And so it's kind of cool. And so I was going to do this, but I'll save that for another day. I need to reread it before I start acting like I know what I'm reading. So here we are with our bathrobe chat. And we're talking about food and how you guys are doing, and I am delighted with the White Wave, which would also be Horizons and Silk products that aren't going to have the carrageenan in them. And God, I just love that. I love reading labels. I don't know if you guys have become label readers. And one of the clients slid in when we were shopping. We have a list for each house, and slid in some Brown and Serve sausages. And so I read what was in the ingredient yesterday when I went with two other women, so it wasn't the same woman that slid those in. And it says something like mechanically extracted pork. What does that mean? Do they have this drill, and they just kind of drill off this meat so it's part bones and everything else? And I know that sausage has dubious ingredients for the most part, unless you know where they come from. But I've been buying the Nature's Promise Italian sweet sausage for my spaghetti sauce, and I'm comfortable with that. But anyway, mechanically extracted pork? Well, that was a scary thought. And then, every ingredient after that was a chemical of some sort or a sugar of some sort. And they were 10 for $10. So, people that are on a budget are thinking, well, we can have some great sausages. And they'll buy 10 packages. And, it's almost like you're paying out $1 each time to damage your health in the future. Because these metabolic syndrome diseases just start layer after layer. When you go to a conference or a training and they have that transparent thing with some red trending line, and they put it down in front, and then they add the blue trending transparent thing, until you end up with this like spaghetti thing of all the different colors. And that's kind of like if you think of toxins that you're adding to your body when you're in the ignorant phase of your food. And some people never get out of it, which is kind of sad. And other people catch on late in life, like me in my 60s. It's like, duh. And so it goes, right? And so we forgive ourselves for how it is, but we know that we have a chance at recapturing, healthy feelings for the day, for the moment, for the present. And maybe I didn't do so well, in my other decades. But today I can wake up and know that everything that I've chosen is a choice. And I'm not just having it because it's there, because blah, 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 blah. These are, I've made the choice. I've read the backs or the labels. Hopefully I'm iteming labels like, organic romaine, something like that, organic grated carrots, olive oil, I can't use that word before, like, I'm done with my bulletproof, processed with the least amount of mechanics. Let me use it that way, olive oil, and things like that I'm putting into my salad, and then the choices that I've made with where my animal comes from. And I love when you go to Whole Foods store and it says born, raised, and whatever, here it is to you in the United States. I like those sort of things. And so tonight will be grass-fed lamb chops that I bought at Market Basket, and so I'm looking forward to those. And one of the gurus that I was listening to said most lamb and veal products are grass-fed anyway. They aren't mass manufactured, farm manufactured sort of things. Although what they do to veal isn't pretty. I don't think I really go after veal, but I do like lamb chops. So that's kind of it for the day. Somebody was talking about this almond meal crust that's on Pinterest and how delicious it is, and I should really try it. And it's made with almond meal. So when I was shopping with my ladies yesterday, an 11-ounce package of almond meal was $9.70 at Stop and Shop. So if it's cheaper someplace else, I might be entertained by making a almond meal pizza crust. But I don't think I will be baking one of those, because the 11 ounces, when you lifted it, you said, that's the crust, right? I mean, maybe if it lasted 4 times, I don't know. I'll have to look at Pinterest to see what the recipe is. But that's it for the day. Just another video with a bathrobe chat, so cats run to their mom's laps to listen, so you have something to drink your bulletproof coffee with, so you have something to listen to when you're getting ready for whatever your day is in France. This is what we do here. We just blah, blah, blah with the voice. And, for some of you, it could wake you up, and for some, it could put you to sleep. But, hopefully you're coming out of any food ignorance, and you're gathering another transparent layer to put over your knowledge instead of adding a transparent layer of toxins to your body. So this is it from Sarah. Have a wonderful day. And until the next time, bye-bye for now. Thanks for watching.